Mr. Tony Torcasio, welcome to the podcast, Combat and Conversation. How are you?
I'm good. I just want to say,
Yeah.
your father and I,
Oh my gosh, straight into it.
we've got so many great memories,
I'm
and
sure.
this is quite cool.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah.
I've got Nikita here interviewing.
It's like looking at my dad, I'm
It's
sure.
so cool. I love it.
Fantastic.
So, let's go.
Well, Tony, how about we start with just sort of your upbringing? Whereabouts did you grow up in Melbourne? How was it like?
I've got good memory. Growing up, I've got nothing but good memories. Growing up, I was brought up in a loving home. Grew up in the suburb called Coburg, which is north, about 10 kilometres out of the CBD, northern suburbs of Melbourne. My father was, hardworking man. My mum, best housewife, mother you can ask for.
Yeah.
Got an older brother. Life was pretty good. Yeah, I got to experience a lot of love at home. My parents migrated to Australia in the 1950s, like many, in search of a better life after the devastation of World War II. And found home here in Melbourne. And Roman Catholic upbringing, so Catholic education was important in our family. I got to live a pretty good life. Yeah.
Beautiful. And do you have an older brother? Just one older.
And one older brother, Pasquale.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Did he also get into the fight game later on?
No,
No.
a little bit different.
A little bit different.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I think apparently I've been told I've been made different.
Fair enough.
Different.
And what school did you go to growing up?
Catholic primary school called St. Paul's Primary in Coburg,
Yep.
and then I went to Trinity College in Brunswick.
Oh, of course.
Some of my best mates from today, we're still friends. We've been friends since 1977. We catch up regularly, so I've maintained some great friendships over the years.
Long-standing.
Yeah,
Long-standing friends.
long-standing,
That's
yeah.
beautiful. Now, and what age did you start getting into the fight game? What
fight game.
Did you start dipping your toes in?
Right, well, going down the path of learning how to defend myself was, I had a bad experience basically. Growing up, one of the things my father taught me when I was young was, if you have good friends, look after each other, stick by each other, make sure that you look after each other. And in our teenage years, growing up, as you do, chasing girls, and
of course.
all that, I'm not sure how it all started, but my friends got in trouble with some rival gang from Brunswick who we didn't understand at the time, but they were bad dudes. I didn't think it was anything serious.
How old were you at the time?
17, I think. I think it would have been 16, 17
Yeah.
at the time. Yeah. So someone made a move on someone's girlfriend.
Big trouble.
It's caused some tension between a gang from Brunswick and us guys from Coburg. But like I said, at the time, I didn't think much of it. I said, guys, leave it to me. I'll go chat to them. I didn't think I was going to. Yeah. So I've gone to a cafe that I knew they'd hang out with in Brunswick, asking for them. They lucky for me, happy they didn't happen to be there that day. The word got back to them. They were furious after that. When they heard that I actually walked into their cafe. They just pissed them off even more.
Oh wow!
I have the audacity to actually walk into their cafe after what's going on. But anyway, so we had to meet. We were told we had to meet for this meeting, which my friends go, Tony, they want to punch on.
Yeah.
I said, no, I'm sure we can chat there. So we rock up to this. It was in Coburg. It was near the Coburg football ground with me. So I've gone there thinking we're going to chat. There was no chatting. These guys,
Really?
They come straight out.
How many of them were there?
There was 4 of them. There was 4 of us. So I was evil, 4 and 4, but they were very capable guys.
Wow.
I had no idea how to defend myself.
Yeah.
But out of fear, the guy who approached me, just out of fear, thank God, everything I threw landed. I actually did well. I looked up, and this guy, I'll tell you who he is because he's well known in our kickboxing world. Yeah. He's ended up becoming a good friend of mine. He comes running straight at me. He's just seen me get the better of his friend, and I absolutely shit myself and panicked, and I covered up, and he's coming and he's bashing into me. It was at the time, I can laugh about it now. It was a pretty scary experience for me, at least, you know. Yeah. I'm lucky people I knew jumped in who happened to know him, and they broke it up.
And you're friends with this guy now?
This guy, there's a funny twist to this. So his name is Joe Nader. He promotes Power Play Promotions. I think he's approaching promotion number 50. He's a great promoter, good friend of mine.
Yeah.
We become good friends. So he was doing the right thing. You know, looking back now, he's digging up for his mate.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So it was a pretty bad experience for me, and I remember I never want to be in that situation again.
Yeah.
Like this. I need to learn how to defend myself, and I just happened to meet a man who was a high-ranked martial arts instructor at a place called the Bob Jones Karate Academy, known as Zendu Kai Karate. His name was Les Hurd. I told him the experience I had, and he said, "Come with me. We'll get you started in karate." Blah blah. So I loved it. Karate, I started karate for a good year there. I sort of.
And how old were you about this time?
I would have
17 still?
I would have been 17, going on to 7. I would have been 17 years of age. So I wasn't driving. I'd catch the tram into the city. Yeah. So I ended up having a kickboxing fight. I was quite keen. I did okay in the karate tournaments. Then I had a kickbox, but this is the first year. So and I won. But my friend Les, he just said, honestly, if you really want to progress, I'm not really the man for you. His name is Paul Fifield.
Right.
Here I am. I'm lucky. I said, I'm training in Australia's most popular, best kickboxer in Australia is training at our gym. So I approached Paul and told Paul, I really love this kickboxing. I've only had the one fight. I'd love it if you could overlook my training because I really admire you, blah, blah. And at the time, get ready for this, Paul was in training to fight the United States middleweight champion. His name was Mark Costello.
Okay.
Up until that point, there was no Australian who had ever fared well with an international opponent.
Right.
Like this. So, and I believe, as much as everyone loved Paul Fifield, I don't think many people really believed he was capable of winning because the guy was a lot more experienced. Okay. The Americans were more advanced in Australia in kickboxing. Paul absolutely just
destroyed him. Oh, wow.
Slaughtered him. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the first couple of rounds were competitive.
That would have been a first in
it was the first. So Paul Fifield became the first Australian fighter ever to beat an overseas opponent.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was pretty cool. The very next day, they got interviewed. I remember seeing it on Wide World of Sports, the days when we would watch TV instead of iPhones. There was TV. And they were being interviewed. And I think Max Walker was interviewing the guys. But the guy Paul fought had sunglasses on, and you could still see the black eyes. He had sunglasses,
even under the glasses,
and the black eyes were still showing.
That's fantastic.
Paul had a slight little bruise, I think it was, but yeah. And fantastic. I said, I want to be that guy. Yeah. That's the guy I want. Right. I want to be that guy.
So that started your journey, sort of ingratiating yourself with the likes of Paul. And
so Paul is one of the best friends you could ever have. You know, so he basically. Embraced me, and we got started, and then we had fight number 2. Yep. And I've said, look, I just want to have one more fight. I don't want to stop at one fight. Maybe have 2 fights, you know. So had 2 fights, then I had third fight, 4 fights. So I had 5 fights. I had 5 wins, and I was asked for an opportunity. I was given an opportunity to fight for a Victorian amateur title, you know. Yes. So we had to do that. You know? Right. So then, so that went well. So then I thought, I'm going to have a break from this. So I had 6 fights, 6 wins.
And a very early stage of your career as well.
Yeah, early stage of my career. So I'm very lucky. I had a great trainer to guide me through it. So then I took some time off. I wanted to do some bodybuilding. I was sort of fascinated with having muscles. Yeah. So back then I was only like 68, 69 kilo. Okay.
Yeah,
like Ashton is right now.
Yeah, right. Okay.
So I had a goal of putting on a good 5, maybe 10 kilo of muscle, but my body type, 10 kilos was too much. So I think I put on 5 kilo. There happened to be a bodybuilding competition going on around the same time. And my friends go, you got to do it, you got to, Tony. Yeah. So I did this bodybuilding competition, and I did very well. I actually won my weight class, and the overall.
So let me get this straight. So just as a summary, so you start off sort of, you have this experience growing up on the streets, getting into a bit of a fight. That kind of gives you the incentive to try and learn how to defend yourself.
Yeah.
You meet Les Hurd. Les Hurd.
He was a senior instructor at Bob Jones. Yep. He was a 3rd degree black belt. Yeah.
Fantastic. So, and then that sort of gets you beginning into the process of learning how to actually master a particular martial art. And then from there, you wanted to do kickboxing after sort of seeing
Paul Fifield in training for
fantastic. Yeah. And then 6 fights, and then you're
I was happy. I thought maybe I retired.
How old were you at the end of those 6 fights? How old were you then?
I would have only been 20 years old. Yeah, would have just turned 20. Yeah. Wow. So I was interested in doing some bodybuilding, so I did this bodybuilding competition, and I'll be honest, I didn't love it.
Right.
I did it. It was nice.
It wasn't the same rush, surely.
Well, it didn't give me the rush. I wanted to. I knew my calling. I wanted to be a fighter.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a fighter. It was more. Yeah, the more adrenaline rush. It's
so
you get a real challenge, you know.
How'd you get back into it after the stint of bodybuilding?
Easy. Just get back on the tram.
Just back to the gym.
I was driving at that stage, so back to training, and then I got to meet some great guys over time. We went, had some memorable fights over the years. We should probably talk about the losses because.
Absolutely.
It's easy. Everyone talks about winners, but. I believe we learn more from losses.
Absolutely.
In life, and so my first loss, which devastated me. I remember it was it was a bit of a comeback fight. Hadn't fought for a little while. Got in the best shape of my life, but I was a little bit heavier, a little bit heavier than normal. I panicked the day of the weigh-in. The morning I was panicked because I was a little bit over, and did something really silly. I took advice from a bodybuilder about what to do. He said, Tony, trust me, just take this diuretic. It's called the mod diuretic. You'll just urinate a little bit. You'll be fine, mate. The weigh-in was the night before.
Right.
So I had, it was pretty cool, 24 hours. I shouldn't have panicked.
Yeah.
I panicked and I took this diuretic.
Yeah.
I may have taken 2. I think, looking back now, I think it was, I took 2 because I thought, just have a quick piss and I'll be right. No.
Yeah. But
I don't know, for a week, I wouldn't exaggerate, but let's say for a good 4 days, I was constantly just urinate.
Oh my God.
It really took effect on me. I dropped so much weight. Not only that, but I didn't understand nutrition.
Yeah.
This is what really triggered me to take the path of understanding whatever goes in my body from now on. I research now. I did all the research back then about understanding how important minerals are. So anyway, gone ahead of this fight. I just didn't feel right backstage. I just went out there and I was trying to give my best. After 2 rounds, I was just exhausted because I was gassed. It's not me. I'm such a strong fighter, and it's something I knew. Was
this a boxing bout?
This was kickboxing.
Kickboxing. Who was it against? Do you remember?
He was trained by Jamal Hassan at the time. His name was Jamie Carroll. He was a tough dude, but any other day of the week, I'm sure I know what I'm capable of. Anyway. So I had to accept that. Shut my mouth. It's my fault. But I was urinating so much. I remember even when the fight was over, I was going back in backstage. I said, quick, my mate Mick Marshall, who's no longer with us, quick, take my groin out. I took it off. Oh, I was it was bad. It was really
shocking.
So I was just, obviously, all my,
Well, that's okay. Well, as you said, you learned from those, mistakes.
Learned that. That was one experience there. And obviously went back on the winning track, started winning again, blah, blah, blah. And then we challenged, I actually won the Australian middleweight title in between, which was cool here in Melbourne at Festival Hall. But the good thing about that was my two of my best mates, Tosca and Mick Marshall, who's not long with us. The 3 of us, we won our Australian titles on the same night. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
The main event was Stan the Man, Longanides. Thanks to Stan, we got a sellout crowd. He was the big draw card. Stan Longanides has done so much for Australian kickboxing. Like the house, you couldn't even get in.
He's a legend.
They had to knock back people. So, cool. So that was pretty cool. Yeah.
And what year was that?
That was 1989.
1989. Okay. And was Paul your trainer still at that point?
Paul was my trainer. Paul's been my trainer since fight number 2, right to the end.
So that's fascinating. So you've been taken under the wing of Paul. You've obviously had your sort of stint in the bodybuilding world early on in your 20s. You get back into kickboxing. Paul's still obviously involved in your life at that point.
Absolutely,
and involved in your training. How is it now? I mean, we're jumping a little bit back and forth, but that's fine. How is it now, considering that you're at Fightfit, you're one of the coaches at Fightfit, you're a part of an establishment that Paul helped, Paul was at the core of. How is that bizarre to you? Is that strange, considering that, I mean, there is this long-standing continuum between you and your trainer, and it seems like he's had a huge impact, not only professionally but personally as well.
Yeah, absolutely. No, Paul's had a strong impact on a lot of people's lives. We need more people like Paul Feifel in the world who actually help, who genuinely care about people and help change their lives for the better. Like there's no way in the world I could have got distracted. I mean, we're in a world where you got all sorts of people cross paths and lots of people in your life.
Of course.
Some not for the best intentions.
Yes.
But I think having somebody like Paul in your life, making right decisions and staying away from trouble.
Okay, let's talk about some of your, I guess, major wins as well, and sort of major memorable moments surrounding certain fights. Maybe if they're not wins as well. You've mentioned before to us, or to me personally, about your story with Superkick Vick. Why don't you take us through that story in the change room after the fight?
Okay. Before that, my most memorable fight.
Yes, of course.
Was in Perth in 1988. I filled in. The main event fight was. One of the fighters was unable to compete. His name was Mick Marshall, was a good friend of mine. He was injured. The promoters were desperate. They were looking for somebody to fill in the card because it was going to be staged in Perth. At the time, I was the Victorian super welterweight champion.
Yes.
The fight was at super middleweight. It was 2 weight divisions heavier.
Yep.
So I put my hand up and said, I'll be happy to take it if they're desperate. So they had to give me an opportunity because they were desperate. They needed somebody to fill in the card.
Yeah.
So I gave away a bit of weight. But I said I had to get the approval from Paul. Paul wasn't that keen on it because he was giving away a lot of weight. The guy was a lot more experienced. Was fighting with leg kicks, professional rules, blah blah. So that fight there, I had nothing to lose. I was up for a challenge. To lose. the promoter put up $2,000. So both fighters were guaranteed $500. So 1988, we're both guaranteed $500.
Yep.
The winner gets a bonus $1,000. Okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So $500 becomes $1,500. Then he threw an extra $500 on top of that for a knockout. So if you score a knockout, from $500 you get $2,500.
Oh wow, fantastic.
Okay? So you get $2,000.
Yes.
You get $2,000. So it wasn't the money. I mean, I thought, how cool would it be if I can go to Perth,
knock this guy out,
get this Australian title and bring it back to Victoria? Yeah. Man, this would be pretty cool.
Absolutely.
Nothing to lose, but let's go. Like this. So that was the one fight where round one, I realised I'm in too deep here. This guy is going to wreck. This guy is a regular. This guy is too good. He first thigh kick I copped was so hard. He was just, and I realised I'm in too deep here, this, And
in the first round, you realised.
First round, I realised this is a real fight, and I'm just proud of myself. I just gritted my teeth, and I just said, I'm not going to be no one's punching bag. So I just put the pressure on. And I don't know where I found the energy. I just kept on pressure. He's by far the best kickboxer I've ever fought. Skill-wise, he was a lot bigger, obviously, he was too weight, but he was very experienced. And I pushed him pretty hard. He was winning on the scorecards. But round 7, I had him against the ropes, and I cut him. I remember, and I'm thinking $2,000. So I'm going. The bell went round. Then we came out for the last round. I had Paul Fightfit and Dave Hitchcock in my corner.
Yes,
best team, legendary team. We had every go for it.
Yeah.
So I said, you got to win by knockout. If you want to win, you got to win by knockout. That's what we're not going to give it to you on points here. So I went out there looking for a knockout, but guess what? I'm the one who got.
Oh really?
I got caught, dropped. I didn't realise. All I remember the referees giving me a count. This is why it's so memorable is because I remember this. The referee, and I'm thinking, no, I'm good. Trust me, I'm good. I realised I'm in Perth. They're going to stop it. And I said, no, trust me, I'm good. And I said to myself, go. I thought I ran out there, and that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah. But
I guess I was semi-concussed maybe, because my legs struggled.
Giving out.
Because when we watched the video, mind willing, but the body.
Yeah.
I thought that's what I wanted to do, but as I went out, I ran into about another half a dozen.
Oh, okay.
The referee did the right thing. They stopped the fight. It was about 30 seconds ago. So, but that fight, even though I didn't win, that's by far my best fight because I had to dig deep, really deep, because I didn't want to get hurt.
Of course.
I knew round one I was going to get hurt. This guy's good. This guy's really good.
Yeah.
So that was he's the toughest guy, the best skill fighter.
You showed great perperseverance, regardless of what was happening.
They booed me on the way in, but they all cheered me on the way out.
That's good.
And he was a true champion. He got the microphone. He told everyone about, I took the fight on short notice. He said, this kid needs to get back to his normal weight class. He's going to be the next Australian champion.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And
that's what happened.
So that was my first attempt at an Australian title at super middle. And that's what I did. When I came back, I dropped down to middleweight, then I dropped down lighter again. But
So now, not to blow smoke, as they say, but do you mind sort of refreshing us as to what accolades you do have in terms of titles as a fighter?
Oh, okay, yeah. Well,
kickboxing.
We challenged for Australian titles in actually 4 weight classes.
Yep.
So super middle, which I lost.
Yep.
Middleweight, we won.
Yep.
Super welterweight against the guy who's become one of my best friends. When I go to Adelaide, I visit him all the time. His name's Anthony Lapia. We had a good fight.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I wasn't my best, but to his credit, he won. And then we challenged a guy by the name of Ronald Dew from Queensland at welterweight. A week out, the fight fell through, and then I had to fight a replacement fighter. So unfortunately, that one didn't happen. That would have been a good fight. We're both sort of similar fighters there. That would have been I looked up to. I had a lot of respect for Ronald Dew as a fighter. That really motivated me. But then that didn't. Somebody got injured. If what I remember, somebody got injured, and
Okay, fair enough. So you've had this extensive experience in the fight game. Obviously, we can touch on as well briefly. Your sons have come up in the fight world as well. Very very young, but with a fantastic record, an undefeated record. I guess I want to figure out, going back to that sort of comment that I made earlier about Superkick Vick, because I've heard that it's such a great story surrounding what happened after the fight.
That was a big fight. We fought for a Commonwealth title.
First of all, what year was this again?
So that would have been 1991, late 1991. Steve was knocking everybody out. He was
from the States. He was from the States?
No, he's from Queensland.
Oh, he's from Queensland. Okay.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he had a, and but I studied his fights. And most of all these knockouts were coming inside 3-4 rounds. Mate.
Yep.
This is a 10-round fight.
Yep.
10 rounds, mate.
Yeah.
I'm good for 10. Yes. I know I'm good for 10. I can handle the early rounds. That was my attitude. Yeah. He's not going to catch me. I think I've fought better fighters. So mind games. I'm big on program in my mind, get my mind right, before a fight. So in that sense, with Steve, one of the most talented fighters I've ever fought. Absolutely, yeah. He was very skillful. I thought I had the right style to beat him, but I was wrong. He got me. Up until then, I was doing very well. If you watch the video, you can go on YouTube and see it. But yeah, I was doing well. I had plenty left to go. I trained for a 10-round fight. The plan was, Leah, let him get tired the first 5 rounds and then just go put it on him really hard. Yeah, but I never got that opportunity. He caught me in round 5. Yeah, I didn't see it. I woke up in the change rooms, stretcher, change rooms. And all I remember, I've come to, the first person I see was Sam Greco. Sam Greco. Yeah. And then I see Tarsus, and then they're telling me, you just fought. And I said, no. I said, you just fought Steve Vic, he just knocked you out. I thought, no. I said, no. One more round. Okay, Tony.
You're negotiating.
I said, no, one more round. I said, Tony, it's over.
Yeah.
I must have persisted. I must have kept saying the same thing. Sam turns around and goes, Tony, he's left the building. It's over.
Oh my gosh. It's done.
So, yeah, I had to come to terms with that. I actually got KO'd. But up until then, it was an entertaining fight. The crowd got entertained with a good fight. It's just a shame because I know how fit and strong I was for that fight. But he caught me, and no shame. He went on to become one of Australia's best ever. He became a world champion 2 fights later. He fought the great Hector Pena. Then after that, he fought a Spaniard for a world title. So yeah.
It's crazy that you say that because it is so true that you can train for however long and so hard, and you can be so equipped and ready to go when once the bell rings to have a fight. But no matter what, you can just get caught. You can just be maybe slightly unlucky, or you can have a lapse in concentration for a split second, and that's it. It's good night, Irene, as Mr. Chevelle always says. So you've had an extensive career, as we've said. How many fights in total would you say in professional fights? At least? In
amateur, we had six fights before we stopped.
Six fights.
Then we turned professional. It was 15 wins, 4 losses.
15 wins, 4 losses.
I also had 2 pro boxing fights.
Yes.
Which I won both of those.
Yep.
I trained under Keith Ellis. Sadly, he's passed away. He was great. I really enjoyed that experience. That was good. Yeah, I had 2 hard boxing fights. So yeah, pretty pro.
Tremendous record when you think about it. I mean, not many fighters can say that they had, and you fought everyone really. It wasn't like you were picking fights last minute, as you said. Like someone would just say,
just do it. One guy. Well, his name's Tosca Petrucci. He fought everybody. He wasn't afraid of. He'd fight everybody.
That's the question I have now, actually, leading into that, because as you know, I had dinner with Tosca last night, and he wanted me to ask you that fight that you bring up that you once had with him. By the way, for anyone who doesn't know, Tosca Petrucci is one of the great trainers here at Fightfit. When you had that bout with him, he says that it doesn't really count. Doesn't actually count as a proper win for you. Do you want to sort of explain why you might think that?
Tosca Petrucci, I think he had like 18, 19 professional fights before he's lost his first fight. He fought to a guy named Manson Gibson.
Yes.
He was very talented,
Yep.
But before that, there was a teams tournament. There was a teams fight on. Yeah, I think it was the Greek team versus the Italian team. And it was meant to be no contact.
Yep.
So
how do you do that? What do you mean no contact, brother? What does that mean?
So it's about scoring. So you score with kicks.
That's it.
And the referee, if you hit someone in the face, that they count that as a disqualification.
Yes.
Right. You got 2 kickboxers. What are the chances of us being controlled? So my style, I didn't have skill to sit back. So I've just charged at him. As it worked out, Tosca threw a kick.
Right in the face.
I had a bit of a blood nose. The referee looked at it, waved it off. I got my arm raised. Tosca went, fuck off. and he walked off.
So you won by disqualification?
I'm taking that one because
Wonderful.
I had the first person to have my arm raised against Tosca Petrucci was me.
Wow.
And I won my Australian title before him too. I was Australian champion before him because I fought on his undercut.
He's watching this as well. He's going to see that you said that.
He does.
Okay, fantastic. So you're obviously, from what I can tell just in this conversation, and I know obviously in the past as well, that you've developed such strong relationships with these people. The majority of them, or many of them, are actually involved in Fightfit now. How about you briefly touch on just sort of, again, your involvement with Fightfit, how did that come about, and what you really love about this place and why you like doing it?
With Fightfit, I've been with Fightfit since day one. When we were setting up the gym in Buckhurst Street, South Melbourne, bringing gym equipment up the back. So since 2008. Yeah. Okay. So I'm a strength and conditioning coach, accredited boxing coach. I teach kickboxing classes. I love what I do. I mean, every day I get a chance to influence somebody's life to focus on health and fitness, because it's one of the best investments you'll do later in life.
Yeah,
if you
absolutely.
invest. So I'm basically the strength and conditioning coach, boxing, kickboxing, and it's just great making a difference to people's lives, getting them motivated to stay focused on training, having good habits.
And that's something that we've spoken about before in other episodes of the podcast. Is just the importance of training as a way to not only develop the body, but also to develop the mind, to develop a sense of discipline. It sort of comes part and parcel with a proper outlook on life, which is, you're not just training for the sake of training, but you're training to better yourself and develop yourself as a human being.
Absolutely, yeah.
And from what I'm hearing now from you is that's what motivates you as well. It's like you meet someone like a Paul Fifield in your life who not only encourages you to sort of get strong and do well professionally as a fighter, but also to get your life together. It's someone that you look up to as a role model. Would you agree with that?
100%, yeah.
Absolutely.
So I've been lucky. I've had good mentors in my life growing up. I've had I've surrounded myself with positive people, and and I think I know who. There are certain people in your life you don't want to let them get too close. So, that's all.
Now, who was the person who convinced you to jump back in the ring after, I think, 15 years of not fighting? What happened there?
So I retired in kickboxing in 1994. I called it a day after my fight. So after that knockout to Steve Vic, I had 3 more fights. I've got 3 victories.
3 victories, fantastic.
So I thought, it's a good time to walk away. My fighting style, I wasn't very skillful. I was more of I was a pressure fighter, but I'm going to get hurt. So, I'm going to continue getting hurt.
And sorry, how old were you at the end of those 3 fights?
I would have been 30 years of age, 30.
And then you said, I'm going to take a break. And
then I thought, let's focus on my full-time job. I'm proud of my day job.
Yes,
I'm the accounts manager at a sports nutrition supplement company called Amino Active. We've got a range of products called Max's and Maxine's Burn. My role is building relationships and an accounts manager for all our accounts. So I love what I do there. I'm in sports nutrition, and then I've got my coaching business as well. So every day I'm around, I've got an opportunity to make a difference and influence people to take a health and fitness path in life. So
and going back to sort of your reintroduction into the ring, how did that?
So Tarek Solak, sadly he's no longer with us. He was a great promoter. He put on some huge shows, probably some of the biggest shows in this country when he was promoting. So after your father was a great promoter. He looked after me, gave me every opportunity to fight on the big shows. Thanks to him, I got to fight for an Australian title on 3 occasions. He's one of my best mates. We got so many fun. Some things I can't share. We had a lot of great times. And then when he stepped away from promoting kickboxing, Tarek Solak came along and put on some big shows. Tarek and I fought each other years ago. So Chris was the promoter of the show.
Oh, wow.
We fought at a place called Fame Nightclub. By the way, Tarsus, if you're listening, you were on my undercard, right? so was Stan Longanides.
Yes, wow.
So Tarek and I were the main event. We fought each other back in 1984. That was Chris Cronus' very first promotion under the promotion company Yakuza Promotions, where Comprasalis and Con Andronopoulos were part of the team. So anyway, so Tarek and I, occasionally we catch up. We would do training sessions together. We go for dinner. He said, "Tony, what are you doing, mate? You look fantastic. Mate, you should fight again, mate." He goes, imagine him, he said the right words. He couldn't say it. He's the best promoter.
He got you excited.
He goes, "Tony, imagine how many people you're going to influence. You're going to inspire so many people. If they see how good you look at 46 years of age, doing what you do.
You're going to be inspired.
Mate, you're going to inspire people, blah, blah. People will love it. We'll pack the place out." I said, "Well, mate, I'd like to, but," and he goes, "Trust me, mate, they'll all come out to watch." Then I heard he was talking $500 tickets. I said, "You're crazy. No one's going to pay that sort of money." He goes, "Trust me. All your friends who remember you back in the day, they've all got businesses now, mate. They'd love to see you in action, mate. They remember you. Trust me, they'll come." Anyway, prove me right. So he rang me on a Saturday night. He goes, "Tony, I'm just finalising the card. I'd really love to have you on the show. Think about it."
Yep.
And it was later on, and I said to myself, "You know what? This is going to happen. It's going to happen. I've just got to convince Paul Fifield. If I got Paul on my side, we're good. We're going to go."
How old are you? Sorry again.
I was 46.
46.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I hadn't fought for 16 years. So that sounds stupid.
Yeah.
Too many Rocky movies. Bit of bravado. That's stupidity. Anyway, so 16 years had gone by. I was up for the challenge. I thought, you know what? Yeah. So I had to speak to Paul. That took a bit of persuading, but Paul basically made it clear, mate. You know, I knew if I didn't show that I was fully committed, he was going to call it off. He calls the shots, you know. So Paul didn't care about being in the corner. Paul cares about all his fighters. You know? He genuinely cares that no one gets hurt, right? And if you're going to fight, you got to be
give your best.
You got to be prepared for it, mate. Yeah,
absolutely.
Come and prepared. So I gave my all. To be honest, in training, everybody probably would have had the better of me in sparring.
Really?
I struggled.
Who are you sparring? Younger kids as well?
Yeah, Eric Diamondstein. Cameron Eyes.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Cameron Eyes from Fightfit as well?
Yeah, some of the guys. Yeah. We had a few, we had a few guys on the team. Paul made it very clear to everyone, you're not doing Tony any favours going easy. Right? Tony's got a serious fight coming up like this. I want everyone to put the pressure on him.
Oh, so you were getting into scraps.
So, I don't want to sound cocky, but I struggled. My reflexes let me down. My recovery, as you get older, you don't want to admit it, you don't recover like we used to. Your reflexes aren't the same. But I knew fight time, I would be fine. I know how to fight. I've done it. So I know what to do. I just got to get my reflexes back. Yeah, and I'll be honest, it got frustrating at times. You know, I mean, there were times I put on a brave face in public, but I'd come home sometimes, black eyes, blue shins. People say, "What do you really need this, mate?" But a bit late now. Posters are out in the street. it's going ahead. Tony's fighting. People buying tickets. It's going ahead. It's going ahead. So I'm glad I stuck it out. I mean, I was always going to stick it out. That's my nature to walk away from it. Got in the best shape of my life. I came good I think I came good the last couple of weeks. I'm sure Paul will back me on that. I turned it around. Some of the guys who actually were getting the better of me, I started turning it around. Yeah, I knew I'd be good fight night. You know, and so I had a great preparation. Fight time. My opponent, he was a Moroccan kid from France. He came up.
How old was he?
He was 20. So half his weight. So he was 23. I was 46.
Wow.
He jumped on me at the start. He tried to sort of unsettle me, which we expected. My mindset at the press conference, I made it very clear. I said, I promise you this: every round, I'll get faster, I'll get stronger and better every round. I promise you that much. I just kept programming myself. I'm better than this guy. I'm better. And I knew I was going to go. I really believed in myself, and as it worked out, my opponent wasn't a great challenge. It wasn't as skillful as some of the guys I fought like this, but the nerves I had to go through,
made it a challenge.
It was a challenge, yeah. So he came out hard at the start, and then once I answered back, so I clocked him 159 of round one. So we knocked him out. My family got me back home in one piece.
Yep, that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
The kids are happy.
Hopefully I inspired some people in their 40s and 50s to actually get off, there's no reason why you can't.
Yes.
Hopefully I inspire people. And
it's a huge feat.
Yeah.
It's a massive feat. It's a beautiful swan song.
I was expecting a hard fight. I was being a hard fight like this, and I was prepared for a hard fight. It ended one round. A bit disappointed, but at the same time, I'd be lying to say I wasn't relieved at the same time. It was a lot of pressure on me, blah, blah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So do I need it at 46 years of age? I've had enough tough fights, mate. Just be grateful. The whole thing could have gone pear-shaped. I could have broken it.
Yeah, exactly.
We've seen that before.
Well,
so
it's good.
Be grateful. So I walked away. Then I got involved in powerlifting. It was my next challenge. And so I've done quite a few powerlifting competitions. My friend Barry Murray, powerlifting coach, he got me inspired to do a powerlifting comp. And we broke an Australian record on my first comp. And I said, I like this. And then we went. So
your first comp, we
broke an Australian record in power. It was a deadlift only event.
Yes.
This is in my age group and weight class. Okay?
It's outstanding.
So I had a goal of doing like 2 times my body weight, but if I had for an extra 10 kilos, something we could have equaled the record. And so we went, so we broke it, and then I've done it. So I've competed 23 occasions, and on 19 occasions, I've broken previous Australian records in my age group and weight class across 3 different federations.
Yep.
And 2 or 3 different weight classes there. So
wow,
I've been competitive since young.
Yeah, and
when I was young, I remember I would record how many push-ups I can do, and then I'd cross it off, and I'd have joy in writing a new total. How many pull-ups I can do, record it.
Yeah.
Back in the days when when there was no computers and you'd have a pencil and a piece of paper.
Absolutely.
How long it would take me to run around the block? Yeah. So
you always had a competitive mindset from a young age. Well, I think for the last few questions, but before we wrap up here, I think I would like to ask, well, number one is, would you ever, even at this point, jump back in the ring again? Would that ever be not on the horizon at all?
No, I mean...
Who would have to convince you? Tosca?
No.
Fair enough.
I'd be grateful that, I've had a good
Fair
run.
enough.
I've had a good run.
Well, second of all, then, how are you, I guess, in brief, how are you approaching sort of your son's come up and say, as we mentioned before, this fantastic...
I'm so proud. I'm so proud of him. Like, when he first started, 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 4-0. I said, let me know when you get to 6-0, right?
Yeah.
He's at 11-0 now.
Yeah,
he's doing
exactly.
this. He's doing this. Yeah. What I love with my son's progress, he does his own research. He'll study his opponent.
Yes.
He'll say, Dad, I need you to hold the pads. He tells me how to hold the pads because he knows what his opponent's going to do. Like he's got a very his IQ in boxing is very good. He's quite evasive. He's not there. He's nothing like his dad. I used to just stand there.
That's what I've heard. Yeah, he used to just go through.
He's got good footwork, good timing, and he studies his opponents. I mean, his strength and conditioning, he does a lot of plyometrics, explosive work, which I admire because he's done that on his own bat. You know, I offer to help, but I think he likes to work it out himself, and very proud of him. Yeah, very
fantastic.
proud of him,
Well, I'm sure he's going to have a very bright future ahead of him in
but
boxing.
one thing we've got to go back on.
Yes,
one thing we've got to go back on.
Yeah.
Joe Nader, you'll be watching this.
Yeah. Talk to him.
So you scarred me when I was a young kid. You scarred me as a young kid. You inspired me to learn how to look after myself. But as you might recall at my 60th birthday recently, I reminded you how good's your memories, Joe. So that incident with Joe and his mates from Brunswick, that was back in probably 1981.
Yep.
So if you fast forward another 12 years, I think it would have been. Joe was training for a fight himself, you know this, and we were training at Sam Greco's gym in Brunswick. You know where this is going, Joe. So Sam asked Tony, come in and do a round with Joe. So this is 12 years later. I'm no longer the skinny, scared kid from Coburg.
Yep.
I've been doing.
You're a fighter now.
So we jumped in to do a couple of rounds, and boom! I got him back, and he's fucking said to me, "You got me back, you
yes, you got him back.
Got him back.
After all those years.
12 years later, I got him back.
The revenge story.
Got him back.
Fantastic.
We're very good friends. We catch up for lunches. We share a lot of funny stories.
It's a sweet revenge
it's pretty
story.
Good to. One thing about this sport, you know, there's a lot more camaraderie than you think.
Yes.
Between supporting each other in fights and that.
Yeah, and it comes full circle most of the time, which is beautiful.
We've gone from being
rivals to good friends.
Good friends.
Fantastic. Yeah. Well, last question for today, and again, thank you for joining us on the podcast. What would you say now is your primary goal in life? Now, sort of, so actually, how old are you, Tony, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm closer to 61.
You're closer to 61. Okay.
Closer to 61.
What would you say is your primary focus now?
Just never stop trying to better yourself. You know, I mean, one thing our kids, they started with little athletics. You know, and one thing I love about little athletics, the culture. It's all about personal bests. It's not about how fast you run. Like you're doing personal bests. Kids get acknowledged when they hit 50 personal bests, when they hit 75 personal bests. And I think at a young age, if you're thinking about just constantly doing personal bests in life, so whether it's sport, financial, marital, there's so many. You want to travel, just keep working on improving yourself and enjoying life, making the most of life. Because we're here today, tomorrow's not guaranteed. Right. It's time to be grateful for what we got, and just live life and keep challenging yourself a little moving forward. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, on that note, thank you very much, Tony, for coming onto the podcast. We'll have you on again for sure. I'm sure you've got plenty of stories to talk about. We'll have another good chat. But thank you again for coming on. We really appreciate it.
Well, I will say, Stan Longanides has done a lot for Australian kickboxing.
Yes.
He went overseas and made a name for Australia, and came back here and he kept us informed what we need to do to keep up with this. Yeah. And Bob Jones is another one. So Bob Jones, who promoted kickboxing in the 70s and 80s, the early days, lost a lot of money apparently promoting back then, but he did a lot for Australian kickboxing too. Yeah. And thanks to Stan, I got to train at a famous gym in LA called the Jet Center under Benny the Jet Akides. Thank you to Stan for organising that. And I got to train some great trainers like Pete Cunningham, Hector Pena, and those guys. So anyway.
Beautiful.
Well done.
That's fantastic. Thank you very much, Tony. Again, thank you very much. We'll see each other soon. Beautiful.